Hey, welcome back. Session 2. We didn't say goodbye for Session 1. We were talking college baseball, and we were just touching on that. One of the things we touched upon was the fact that the Texas A&M broke, that new rule. Texas A&M scored on a wild pitch during an intentional walk in the bottom of the 9th inning, or in the bottom of the 12th.
Bottom of the 12th.
And there was more college baseball. Of the top 10 right now, teams tearing it up.
There's only 3 teams out of the top 10 that are still undefeated. So a lot of people lost opening weekend. A lot of people have lost midweek games Monday and Tuesday of the first week. And I think that's the big difference in most schedules is it seems to be there's tougher opponents that are being played. That people are scheduling a little tougher to try to get ready for the conference season. And
William and Mary played the Gators tough, and then last night the Gators took a 2-0 lead on the road, which they didn't play. They played Jacksonville here tonight, but they were at Jacksonville last night and used a couple pitchers in the 9th and blew a 2-0 lead.
Blew a 2-0 lead. Florida State did the same thing against University of South Florida. Gave up 4 runs in the 9th. Lost the game 4-2.
The Gators. I'll give you an interesting little thing. The Gators are 20-20 career in Jacksonville.
It's not surprising. It's really not
20
surprising.
and 20.
Jacksonville's a pretty good club year in and year out. And the thing that most people don't realize is when you're those schools, when you're the school that's playing the midweek game against the power school, that's your season. I mean, if you can beat Florida,
it's on your resume
it's on
for
your
trying
resume,
to get in the
trying to get in the
postseason.
tournament. It's always good for recruiting. You get a guy who's like, well, you can go to Florida and you sit the bench, or you can come here and you can beat Florida. And there are enough talent in the state of Florida where the teams in Florida are really good.
And the one thing right now, I think, is, people love the offense. And obviously, McNeese State last night, 32 runs, 29 hits, and a 32-4 win over Louisiana Monroe. But for the most part, there are so many arms. Baseball, and it's why baseball's trying to go in these, add more offense and create more, is because it's become a pitcher-dominant sport. And every one of these...
They're dead in the baseball. They're dead in the bats.
Every one of these teams can get that one power arm, and all of a sudden,
But the guy that pitched last night that started for Jacksonville, truthfully,
he gave up 5 hits and only 2 runs in
right. But he's not a power arm. He's a little soft tossing lefty, and those are the people that when you have a staff like Florida, when you have practiced against those guys all winter long, all spring long, you've had inter-squad games against guys throwing mid-90s. Everybody's throwing mid-90s. Okay, you can hit a guy throwing mid-90s, but you get a little soft tossing lefty who's just a little guy that throws it in there, gets you out, gets you off stride. That can mess you up like a knuckleballer for a week, and you don't get out of that funk. So that's not good.
But then you get into the SEC games, and what are you facing?
Well, 90-92. That's right. But then that's why a lot of teams struggle in midweek.
Those midweek games.
For those 2 things. Either you got one really good pitcher, or you get a guy that's just not.
Well, college isn't the only thing. Pitchers, like we started the segment, pitchers and catchers reported about a week ago. Over the weekend, the rest of the staffs joined. I had the pleasure. I went down to Tampa after watching the Gators opening night victory over William and Mary on Friday night. Got to see the Yankees and saw a high school game on Saturday, and then we went down to Fort Myers, saw the Red Sox on Sunday, and then wound up in Miami seeing my uncle, and didn't finish the rest of the baseball tour. Just went and spent some time with some family. But the Red Sox, they look good. And where do you put the thing? Is it going to be right here?
We'll try. I mean, heck, I don't know. It
might
be above Bob's head. I don't know.
We were there at JetBlue, my wife and I, watching some workouts through the fence, and then got to see my old boss, Dave Dabrowski, and Dave came over, how you doing? And then from then on, didn't have to look through the chain link fence with people pushing against us and everything like that. And we got to watch a workout, and it was a lot of fun. Talk to Dave, and good seeing him. And the Red Sox are one of the favorite teams. I mean, they added some pitching, and it's everyone's in first place right now.
Everyone is tied.
Yes.
Everyone has an equal shot at winning the championship. No, they don't.
No.
No, they don't. No, you don't. Everybody has an equal record.
No.
The Braves?
No.
They have an equal record right now. They're not going to have a chance to win the championship.
Nobody's behind by a game, but given the first weekend, the Braves will probably be down 2. So that's the way it works. Unless the other teams all lose the same weekend.
Yeah, Braves are good. Hey, they got Brandon Phillips. 5 years too late, but they got him.
Yeah, but some of the guys they added, they got him 10 years too late.
Exactly. I question the Braves' sanity in the front office. I mean, I've been a Braves fan my whole life, as Eddie has, and it's very frustrating.
Talking about the Braves, you know who I also ran into over the weekend down in Fort Myers?
I have no idea.
Director of Player Personnel, Vice President for the Boston Red Sox, Frank Red.
Carly, now you can.
Yeah, look what happened to the Braves once he left.
Yeah, I know, that's true. That's true.
Okay.
I mean, but they, you know, I've been, like I said, I've been a Braves fan. You're going to move into a new stadium. You're going to charge triple the price for your tickets. And what's your product going to be?
A stadium, a new
stadium.
stadium.
You get the
That's your
experience.
product.
Your product
That's your
is
product.
experience.
And as a fan, and I mean, that's a whole other avenue we can go down on another show about how baseball, the whole package deal you can buy. But I question what the Braves are doing. What is their? I mean, they got Matt Kemp last year. They look like they're trying to make some kind of moves, but they have all this minor league talent. And knowing the Braves, they're going to trade all that minor league talent off, and it just smacks of the '70s to me.
Who did they get? Who's the pitcher they added? The big arm, big name? Not Bartolo Colon.
No.
Bartolo's Colon too young.
Ari Dickey, they got Ari Dickey.
They got Ari Dickey.
Yeah.
And then they got the big guys too.
Cologne. They did get Colon.
They did get Cologne.
Yeah, Clone. They got Clone.
Okay, and signed him to his biggest contract in like 10 years.
Exactly right.
And he's only 47.
Only 412 years old. It's okay.
Well,
Is that his
they're
weight?
painting by the pound. But you know the thing is, that dude, as much as you want to rag on the guy,
He throws strikes.
He
he
still
throws
throws strikes.
strikes and he pitches and he doesn't get hurt. And as John Kruk once famously told a manager, and I heard him tell somebody this story, he said, I went in his office one day and the manager said, John, you're overweight. You got to lose some weight. And he said, Skip, I never seen anybody go on the DL for pulled fat.
It's true.
Yeah.
True story. I heard him
I
tell.
like that's.
I don't know if
very,
he
very
did that or not, but that is a true story.
So
John.
baseball's starting, and then after many, many years of playing, Hall of Fame. Two new guys voted in. 3 new guys voted
Right.
in. I take that back.
I was very happy to see Tim Raines finally get in. I was excited for him. I was disappointed, I think, that Trevor Hoffman and Vladimir Guerrero did not get voted in, and I was completely disgusted with the voting, the self-appointment of Bud Selig in the Hall of Fame. Bud Selig, to me, was nothing more than a fraud as a commissioner. He's a thief. He has been a liar and a moron his entire career. I can back up with fact.
He doesn't like him.
I don't like him. He voted himself in as commissioner. He did the same thing to get in the Hall of Fame.
The previous comments are the sole feelings of Bob. And do not reflect three-ball
walk. Look, he stole,
We love anything
he stole
to do with baseball.
the pilots out of Seattle. He was involved in the collusion.
But you want to know something?
Who was when the PED thing broke loose? Who was the guardian of the game?
Do you want to know something?
You're a moron. Look at Barry Bonds' head. I rest my case. I mean, it's like you're an idiot. He votes himself in as commissioner.
You and Barry Bonds' head. That's
It's
It's the billboard for PED abuse. Look at it. Sammy Sosa.
You cannot
Hey, there's a picture of me over there where my head is much smaller than it is now.
It is. Your afro's
I've
pretty
taken
big.
You just have
PEDs.
less hair than you did then. You don't.
No, my head is bigger.
No.
My head size is bigger.
Bottom line is, these guys are now going to get in, and I truly believe
They
that
should have
letting
won.
Selig in opened the door.
Opens the door.
So
Let
they
him
had
on.
to do that? You think that was a political move?
No.
No,
I just
he
think-
he elected his own little committee to vote him in. I mean, come on, he did the same thing as commissioner. Oh, nobody wants to be the commissioner of a game. Okay, you're a dork. And then the whole thing to hark back to part one. Part one is
Let's just watch this rant go on.
All-Star games are count for flipping, so we're going to have the All-Star game count. You're an idiot. Okay, you vote yourself in as commissioner. Your boys, because it's about the owners making money. Oh, we love Bud, so they let Bud be the commissioner. I mean, come on, get out
We
of here.
stayed calm, cool, and collected for one season, and we didn't really get a lot of viewership.
No.
So this is the new
Football walk rant.
I'm not.
The rant
of the week.
No,
The rant
I
of the
don't
week.
like. I don't like when guys on radio programs. And this is what I think, but I'm not saying what I think. I'm saying fact. Bud Selig.
Wait, man! You called the man a moron.
He's a moron.
That's what you think. You can't prove that. There's no status.
Yes,
for
I
that.
can, because who was the guardian of the game when the PD scandal broke loose and my veins coming out?
It's popping out.
Popping out. Who was the guardian of the game? Bud Selig. There's nothing about PEDs. He can't even probably spell PED. I mean, it's the whole thing it's ridiculous. He was the guardian of the game. He knew
So
about
how do you feel about
he allowed it.
next year? Vladimir Guerrero and
He should
Trevor
be in the Hall-
Hoffman.
they should be in the Hall
They'll
of
get in
Fame.
next.
Sorry.
They'll get in next year. They didn't get in on the first ballot.
It was disgusting.
Nobody gets in on the first ballot, right?
Trevor Hoffman should. I mean, good last Tim
Someone
Raines. Some guys do.
Who
Jeter
did this
will.
year?
Jeter will. Larkin did. I think. I mean, it's like but
Larkin did.
Larkin didn't. But I mean, Griffey did. Griffey did. That's what I meant to say. But look at some of the guys who aren't in the Hall of Fame right now. Who should be? And let's go back. If you're going to let Bud Selig in the Hall of Fame.
Well, he's not in the Hall of Fame as a player.
That doesn't matter. He darkens the door. Then you should have. Why is it Gil Hodges in the Hall of Fame? Why is it Louis Tiant in the Hall of Fame? Tommy John. It's a Hall of Fame, not a Hall of Numbers. Who's more famous
Tommy
than
John's
Tommy
got
John?
underwear
He has
now
a
that costs
surgery.
$48.
He has a surgery named after him.
They're trying to sell it on Facebook.
Tommy John?
Yeah, this little Tommy John underwear thing that keeps popping up. I clicked on it for the heck of it. $48 for a pair of briefs.
Must be good stuff. I mean, it prevents you from having to get
I'm
Tommy
sorry.
John surgery.
I'm sorry to get upset.
Woo! That was a good
No,
rant.
that
man.
was good.
That
That
was
was
a
good.
5-minute rant.
There's so many guys who are deserving to be in. Name one thing Bud Selig did for the betterment of the game, other than leaving as commissioner. Nothing. I rest my case.
Wow.
Leaving as commissioner.
That's a great line right there. Clearly, Bob felt very passionately about
When he
Bud
said, I want to get the Hall of Fame into today's
Oh,
show,
yeah.
I thought it was about the players.
I did too. I mean, I didn't
Well, it is about the players because there's so many deserving people. Louis Tiant should be in the Hall.
Well, there's not a minimum
Gilmore.
number, right?
Well, no, but
As far as executives are concerned, and I will give you this, is I looked at the list of who they had. I think George Steinbrenner should have probably gotten in.
He should
before
be in the
Bud
Hall of
Se-
Fame.
before
Thank you.
Bud
He's
Selig.
not in.
He's not.
Steinbrenner's
He
not
was,
in?
he was up this year, and they took.
why
Selig
is it
instead.
Marvin Miller in the Hall of Fame? My gosh! I mean, who did more for the players than Marvin Miller? I mean,
He
he's
didn't
not
get
he's not in the Hall of Fame. Ted Turner should be in the Hall of Fame. And Bud Selig?
Ted Turner?
I think so.
National television? I mean,
He did. He
they
changed
were,
how the
he
game
changed.
was
He
watched.
changed how the game was viewed.
But that's not part of it.
It's a Hall.
That's not part of the Hall of Fame for me. I mean, that
Well, Gaylord Perry got in for throwing spitballs.
Gaylord Perry also won a lot of games. A lot of games.
And he's got that one shirt that he wears when he used to play in old timers that had like pieces of like 13 different. Have you ever seen him play
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
It's awesome.
He played with a lot of teams. He won a lot of games.
And he threw spitballs.
Okay.
I got no problem with that. I don't have any problem. I think they should, and I think they should let the steroid people. I mean, I think now that you got the
All right, but
commissioner
what,
in,
did Frank Thomas get in?
Frank Thomas is in the Hall.
All right, Frank Thomas is in the Hall of Fame. Frank Thomas went on a rant, similar to Bob's, about all the PED guys.
So what he say? I didn't see it.
Oh, he didn't want any of them in. Didn't want any of them in. Protect the game. But he admitted in the same interview to taking amphetamines to stay up for games over the period. So he took illegal drugs, and he's in the Hall of Fame. So Bonds took illegal drugs, which weren't illegal, by the way, only against the rules.
And according to Bob, his head's really big.
Yeah, and they weren't against the rules when they started. It was only after the fact that they began to tell them it was against the rules.
Right.
So, you know,
And Mike Piazza, there's questions. There is no test that you can give to prove that someone did not take it.
No.
And because of that,
No.
basically what happens is certain guys get suspended while the Lance Armstrongs get to stay in the race and win 7 Tour de France's. And then you wind up finding out that the guy was illegal the whole time because he did a better job of masking it. So basically what you're doing right now by keeping these guys out is you're rewarding the guys that did a better job of masking, and then the guys that suspicion or got caught or whatever are in trouble.
And I guess I have a hard time with Bud Selig in this aspect too. Is McGuire and Sosa resurrected the game of baseball
Absolutely.
After the strike.
And I know a lot of people may disagree with me. I think McGuire should be in the Hall of Fame. I really do. But you know, those guys have basically been thrown under the bus. And I think, like you just said,
is Maris in the Hall of Fame?
Maris should be in the Hall of Fame. Thank you. Roger Maris should be in the Hall of Fame.
For 1 year?
No, he was a
He
great
went
player.
back-to-back
MVPs. He
MVPs.
played on how many
with
championship ball clubs?
with
the Yankees
Kansas
and the
City. He was
Cardinals?
with the A's. He was outstanding.
I mean, he was a great ball. Dale Murphy should be in the Hall of Fame. There's so many guys who are deserving.
There you go with the Braves. again.
Well, no, but
Turner,
I saw
Dale
him
Murphy.
more.
Next
I
thing
saw
you know,
him
Biff
more.
Pocoroba
No, Biff
disposed of
Poker,
him.
no.
Bob Horner.
Bob Horner, no. Bob
Horner
Horner.
hit.
Captain Bob.
Captain Bob. He
had 4 home runs in a game.
Yeah, I know he did. Well, let's get Mark Whitten in there then. I mean, it's pretty couple that one out of my
Real
head.
good.
Wow.
For the Cardinals.
I had to come that one.
That was pretty good.
But the thing about the guys that I think that are deserving to be in the Hall, and I know he's an executive, you know, we'll give him that title. But I mean, as opposed to other things. But I just feel that there's so many people who are deserving who don't get in, and yet the Veterans Committee, which I don't even understand how that works, because there's so many guys that should be in the Hall of Fame.
Committee made of veterans.
Well, I know, yeah, I got that. I understand what that is.
But then there go people in the Hall of Fame
Right.
who are
No longer
on the ballot.
Right. And like I've said this before on the show, I think you should be voted in if you can while you're alive, so you can at least enjoy and know you were a Hall of Famer, a la Ron Santo, who died.
Either you are. I mean, look.
You are a Hall of Famer. Thank you.
So then you're saying Roberto Clemente didn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame?
Clemente completely deserved to be in the Hall of
He
Fame.
was
That's what I'm
dead.
saying.
He was dead.
I know that's a different situation
Oh, okay.
completely.
I thought you
He
said
died
dead people should be
helping
allowed.
people. He died.
Should
being
dead
the
people
role
be allowed to
possible.
be voted into the Hall
Dead
of Fame?
people can be in the
according to
Hall of
Bob?
Fame, right? So they can't be voted in the Hall of Fame. I just think the living people now should get in.
Okay, but see, this is my thing. My thing is, the Hall of Fame has ceased to be a Hall of Fame anymore. It's not for the best of the best. It's just for really good.
Well, do you think it's more of a Hall of Numbers as opposed to a Hall
It's
of
just
Fame?
for really good. It's just really good. It's not the people. All right, you mean to tell me that 50 years from now, 100 years from now, if Jesus doesn't come back and the Earth's still here,
Right.
and there's baseball still being played,
Hopefully.
that somebody's going to talk about Tim Raines?
Probably not.
Okay,
Probably not. But for his era, he's
I
one of the
won't
best
be.
players.
but for
No, I
his
won't be
era,
here, yeah.
but for his era, okay, people still talk about Babe Ruth.
Sure.
Anybody alive ever seen Babe Ruth play?
Not alive. Well, maybe one or two.
Sure. No, I
Very
doubt
few.
it. Very few, if there are.
Very few.
That had the chance to watch Babe Ruth live.
See Babe Ruth live.
Okay. All right, we have video of them. We can go back and look at that. We can go back and see that.
Well, in that case-
but see, the thing is now the Hall of Fame ought to be for people who are iconic in baseball enough that they're always going to be remembered. Not for the guy who has a couple of good years and
Then-
steals 200 bases in a year.
Then if you do that,
Then it is a Hall of Numbers.
no, then you wind up going 4 or 5 years without inducting anybody.
Absolutely. So what? If there's not, why do you have to have somebody elected every year? If that's like saying every year you're going to have somebody that's the best football player ever in the draft.
Well, everybody in the NFL lets almost everybody in the Hall of Fame.
But you don't have. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We cheapen the Hall of Fame when we let everybody in. And when you force people in every year, that's cheapening it to me. If nobody who's eligible that year deserves to get in, nobody gets in.
And that's happened before.
Yeah, but it should happen more often. Now it doesn't. But you know why it doesn't happen now? Because of MLB Network. Sorry, MLB Network. Because MLB Network wouldn't have anything broadcast on the day of the induction ceremony.
Yeah, true. But I mean, I agree.
There's games going on.
There's
that
games
day.
going on.
Right, but they would have their particular product that they put on there.
I think that when you look at the Hall of Fame, and I don't know where we are in our time.
We got about a minute.
We talk about the Hall of Fame. I mean, I understand where you're going, but I think that there are a lot of people who necessarily maybe don't have offensive numbers or not the best defensive player. I think Edgar Martinez should be in the Hall of Fame, personally, who were great baseball players. And I think if you limit it and shrink the talent pool down, I understand what you're saying. It's the elite of the elite, but I think that's when the argument comes: are you a first ballot Hall of Famer or not?
But that's a stupid thing. First ballot Hall of Famer.
I agree.
That is a
I totally
stupid
disagree.
thing. You either are a Hall of Famer or you're not. So
I
if
agree.
I'm eligible, everybody ought to be voting on the first one. You vote me on the second one because I'm not first ballot Hall of Famer. That's crazy. I'm either a Hall of Famer or I'm not a Hall of Famer. And if I don't get in that year, I shouldn't be eligible again. I should not be eligible up to one time.
I don't know if I go that strict.
Why? What made me change in the year since you didn't vote me in? I didn't play a game. I didn't
You
swing
were
a bat.
you were a very, very good player.
You're a very good
But you
player.
weren't a first ballot Hall of Fame.
But that's what I'm saying. Either you are a Hall of Famer or you're not, and that's what I'm arguing for. Is that the people who say
then
the
what we're
first
gonna need to
Hall
do
of
is-
Famer should be the Hall of Fame, and everybody else ought to be what they
Well,
are,
next-
which is a Major League Baseball player and better than 99.9% of the people who ever played the game.
Well,
And if
here's-
you're an MLB player, that ought to be enough for you.
Here's the bottom line. Next week, we'll go through the Hall of Fame, and you can start kicking out those people. And then
I'm not going to do that. I don't care that much about it. Truthfully, I've never been to the Hall of Fame. Don't ever plan on going.
Oh, you should.
I don't. I don't.
Beautiful little
Cooperstown, New York. If I'm ever there, I'll come in there. But it's not like I'm going to make a trip to Cooperstown. Sorry, I don't have little kids playing in that game anymore. Which is how they get most people to come these days, is to play the 8-year-old, 9-year-old
No,
series there.
I think they do other things. They have induction weekend.
That's true.
Yes.
Man, that'll get people up there. Anyway, so
All right.
clearly it's a topic that you can get behind. You can tell us who
Let us
you
know what
think
you
should
think.
be in and shouldn't be
Yeah.
in, and post it down beneath there, and we'll take your arguments and say yours is just as valid as ours. And there you go.
Well, thanks.